Hey, folks, good morning and welcome to another episode of Steelers Morning Rush. I'm Alan Saunders. It is Thursday. It is May 29th. The Pittsburgh Steelers have their third practice of OTAs 2025 at UPMC Rooney Sports Complex this morning. On my way there right now. I want to talk about a good question we got from yesterday's afternoon drive from Alex Brodsky, who asked about Joey Porter Jr. and him having a pretty critical season this year. I think that's a good point. An interesting perspective. I think Joey Porter has been pretty darn good for the Pittsburgh Steelers over his first two seasons, but certainly this time next offseason, we will be talking about a contract extension for Joey Porter Jr., and I do think it's still a little bit up in the air as to what kind of contract extension we're going to be talking about. Are we talking about Joey Porter Jr. as a number one cornerback in the NFL getting top cornerback money, or are we talking about him getting some kind of bridge contract or, a contract more in line with some of the secondary options at that position? I think that's still a little bit up in the air. Porter has done very well considering his level of competition. He has very routinely gone against other teams' top corners ever since he was a rookie, other teams' top receivers, I should say, ever since he was a rookie, and he's done a very good job of doing that overall. His passer rating when targeted is very low. He's not overly picked on in terms of target share, which, by the way, is something that I think a lot of people who look at the cornerback position statistically seem to miss, is that the best possible cornerback play would involve the ball never being thrown your way. I don't see teams picking on Joey Porter Jr. In fact, I've seen a good bit of the opposite over the last couple of seasons. He doesn't, I don't think, has quite risen to the level of guy you feel will dominate those matchups. He can handle them, and he'll handle his own in those matchups, but he's not dominating them. He's not Jalen Ramsey, Darrelle Revis, a guy that you can say is going to take away another team's number one receiver. He can handle the assignment, and he's going to give as good as he gets. And so, look, I don't think it's any shame in Joey Porter just being a very good starting cornerback and not one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. But if he once paid like one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, then yeah, he's got a lot to prove this season. I think his floor on the season, though, is pretty well established. We should have a pretty good idea of how good of a cornerback Joey Porter can be, and that's pretty good. I'm not expecting any kind of step back. That would be very surprising to me. And in fact, I feel like a lot of the things that he needs to improve on, and Joey actually said this yesterday, it's small stuff. It's not big stuff. The things that are keeping Joey Porter Jr. from being one of the better cornerbacks in the NFL aren't lack of speed, lack of size, lack of strength, lack of physical ability. It's mostly coverage details, understanding leverage and assignments, and understanding how offenses are going to try to attack him and the Steelers' defensive scheme to be able to better anticipate the way things are going to go. It's situational awareness, as I feel like the biggest thing. He took a lot of penalties last year, and look, we talked yesterday about the glove change. I think there's a lot of potential reasons for penalties there, but a good number of them happen from being in bad situations. There was one I remember very specifically against the Bengals last year where he got beat by Andre Yoshivas in the back of the end zone, and the pass was just completely uncatchable. But Porter didn't have he didn't have eyes on the quarterback. His back was turned. It was man coverage. He got beat. He just tackled him. And those are the ones. If you just clean up the worst 20 reps from Joey Porter's season last year, I don't know if he's one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL yet, but I think he'd be a bona fide number one. That's really all you need to do is just, and those 20 reps don't need to turn into interceptions. They just need to turn into the ball didn't get thrown his way. If you really, that's the whole difference between him and, a really, really good top of the league starting corner. And I think he can get there. I don't see any reason he can't. Will he definitely get there this season? Well, I think that's an open question. I mean, people mature at different rates. People understand defense, the entirety of the defense and what the offense is doing and all that stuff. That's a hard projection to make. but it is at least possible, right? It's not like, Beanie Bishop can't be 6'5". Darius Slay isn't going to get faster at this point in his career. Like, those things are impossible. What Porter needs to do is very possible. So I think it's a big season for him if he really wants to cash in. But I think people are actually too low on the job that Porter has done for 2 years for the Steelers. He's been a very solid starting quarterback for the Steelers. And when you take down the second round and becomes that, you should feel good about it, not bad about it. So, yeah, I think he's been a good player, a good starter, solid starter, and I expect him to continue to be. Will he take that step into being one of the better starters at that position in the NFL? We'll see. He has the physical tools to do it. We'll see if he's able to make that next jump. And I think cutting down the penalties would go a long way to that as well. I'm still very optimistic about Joey Porter, the player, but I don't know why. There's a lot of people in my mentions last year saying he had a bad year or down on him. I don't ascribe to that belief at all. I think he had a very solid season and should be pretty excited about him being the Steelers' starting cornerback for a long time. And, yeah, I do think the way he plays this year will factor into how much money he makes next offseason. All right, good question, good thought. That's all I got for this morning. Back with more with me and Brendan after practice around 3, and then afternoon drive with me and Smitty just about 6, hoping for that one. Got some scheduling issues, but I think we'll get it taken care of one way or the other. Until then, subscribe, hit that bell for notification here on the YouTube channel. And thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and enjoy.